Hello bookworms! Today I'm going to be doing my video all about my most anticipated YA fantasy releases of 2020. So some of the ones on this list are definitely going to be ones that you will recognize, so I will kind of go through those a little bit quickly, and then other ones that you may not have heard of, I'll try to go into a little bit more depth about. So the first two on my list, I'm lumping them together because the first one is Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. This is the first book in the new series that Cassandra Clare is writing, and I am so excited for this one. I really love the cover. It's like my favorite Shadowhunters cover ever, and I'm so excited about the characters that it's going to be following, but I don't want to go into detail about it because I don't want to spoil anything for anyone. And then the other mention in here is The Lost Book of the White, which is co-written by Cassandra Clare and Wesley Chu. The first one followed Alec and Magnus, and I believe the second one does as well, but I'm not really sure. I haven't really looked at a synopsis for it, but I really love the first one, so I'm very much looking forward to the second one too. Next on my list is Night of the Dragon by Julie Kagawa. This is the third and final book in the Shadow of the Fox trilogy. I really love Shadow of the Fox. It was an anime in novel form, and oh my gosh, I just loved it so much. It ended up being one of my favorite books of the year in 2018, which was the year that I read it in, and the sequel, Soul of the Sword, came out in 2019. I loved that one as well. I didn't love it as much as the first one. There's a specific reason for that, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be fixed in this third book, so I'm really looking forward to this one. Next on my list is Deck of Omens by Christine Lynn Herman. This is yet again another sequel, and this is the second book in the Devouring Grey duology. I really love the Devouring Grey. That was also a favorite book of mine in the year that I read it, and I also think that was actually in 2018, but I'm definitely planning on rereading this one before the next book comes out, The Deck of Omens, just because I love the story and the characters so much, and I definitely want to experience it again and go into the second one with everything like completely fresh in my mind. But the reason that I loved it so much is that it takes place in Four Paths, which is a town in upstate New York in like the Hudson Valley, and it's just so atmospheric and beautiful, and I really loved Christine Lynn Herman's writing, and I'm just so excited to get more from her. Next on my list is Queen of Peril by E.K. Johnston. This is another Padme novel, and I really loved Queen's Shadow. That one came out this year, and it told the story of all of Padme's handmaidens, and oh my gosh, it was just one of my favorite books within the Star Wars canon universe. It was all about friendship and female empowerment, and I just loved it. So I'm really looking forward to E.K. Johnston's next book, which is actually a prequel. I believe this one takes place before Phantom Menace, so it's like leading up to that. I don't know if we'll see Padme like becoming queen or what the deal is, but there's also this beautiful cover that was revealed, and I'm just so excited. Next on my list is actually another Star Wars novel, and that is the Untitled Clone Wars anthology, and this was announced at New York Comic Con this past year. I believe they said it's going to be coming out in the summer of 2020, but they didn't have like an exact release date. But all I know is that Zoraida Cordova is writing a Ventress short story, and I'm so excited about that, and I'm really hoping that E.K. Johnston will write a Padme story and also an Ahsoka story, and I'm just really looking forward to revisiting some of the Clone Wars characters, and I think it's a great time for it to come out because we're finally going to be getting that final season of Clone Wars on Disney Plus in February of 2020, so we'll like be riding that high, and then in summer get to like revisit everyone yet again, and I can't wait. I feel like so much of my list is sequels, but the next book that I'm looking forward to is The Shadow of KYOSHI by F.C. Yee. The first book, The Rise of KYOSHI, came out this past year, and I absolutely adored it. I am a huge fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I felt like this novel just did KYOSHI so perfectly, and it was so exciting to get to learn more of her backstory and like get more of this Avatar that we've heard mentioned but don't really get to know her entire past, because she had a really tough journey getting from where she was even to like accepting that she was actually the Avatar and then trying to get other people to accept her as the Avatar. The way that it ended was such a cliffhanger, and I'm so excited to find out what's going to happen next. Number 7 is another nostalgic title, and that's going to be The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins, and obviously I think everyone knows about this already, but this is the Hunger Games prequel novel. So this book is actually going to take place 64 years before the Hunger Games that we saw with Katniss. It's going to begin right on the morning of the reaping of the 10th Hunger Games. So I'm really excited to see another version and like see the challenges that the contestants face. And also I'm just like very curious how it's going to be done, because obviously there weren't any like major political changes made until we had Katniss 64 years in the future. So I'm curious to see what kind of story arc we're going to be getting in this novel, essentially. I think it'll be really interesting. Next on my list is Among the Beasts and Briars by Ashley Poston. This, first of all, has a beautiful fox as a placeholder image, and if that was the real cover, I would not be upset about it. I am so looking forward to this one. I actually had the pleasure of speaking to Ashley Poston a bit about it at Book Expo this past year, and the way that she described it just sounded like it was written for me. Like, it takes place in a spooky forest, and she also admitted to loving Over the Garden Wall, so I feel like there's going to be some influences in there for that. And oh my gosh, I just cannot wait. It follows two people who are like lost in the woods together, except instead of being brothers, there's gonna be some kind of love connection going on. I'm so excited for this one. Next on my list is Seasons of the Storm by Elle Cosimano, and this just sounds like such a unique premise for a novel. I was really excited when I first heard about it. As soon as I read the synopsis, I was like, oh wow, that sounds like super powerful. It follows basically like these kind of people that are like the physical embodiment of the seasons, and in order for each season to progress to the next one, the season coming has to murder the season that came before it. Except things end up getting a little bit complicated when Jack, who is winter, ends up having to hunt Fleur, who is spring, but the two of them end up falling for each other. And in order for them to be together, the two of them are going to have to try to escape this cycle that's been going on like pretty much forever, but their creator is not having it. And then finally, the last two books on my list are kind of honorable mentions, and that's because I still have to read the previous book in the series, but I'm really excited for them nonetheless, and those are King of Crows by Libba Bray. This is obviously the fourth and final book in the Diviner series. I think everyone's familiar with the Diviners because it's just been all over BookTube, especially in this past year, but I'm really excited that we're finally getting this final installment. I still have to read the third one. I'm probably going to read it in January so that I can go right into the fourth and final book when it comes out in February. And then the other honorable mention is The Serpent's Curse by Lisa Maxwell. This is the third and final book in the Last Magician trilogy, and this one I still have to read the second book, which is The Devil's Thief, but again, because Serpent's Kiss got pushed back, I was just like waiting and waiting to read it, and I hadn't done it. I still haven't done it. But now that we have an official release date in April, I'm definitely going to be getting to this one. I'll probably get to it. I was going to say March, but you know what? There are so many new releases in March. I'm going to say that I'll try to get to it in February and then have that fresh in my mind again for that last one. So those are all of the young adult fantasy books, well, fantasy and kind of sci-fi, that I'm most looking forward to in 2020. I feel like so many of them are either sequels or like novels of properties that I already love. So it's kind of an interesting mix. I normally have a lot more like new stuff that I'm looking forward to, but there were only a couple of new titles that really appealed to me. So I don't know, it's weird. But let me know what young adult fantasy you're looking forward to reading in 2020. I'm sure that more will pop up that I haven't heard of or mentioned here. That's all that I have for this video, so I will see you guys soon in a new one. Bye!